Have you ever spent way too much money on a piece of gym equipment and then immediately regretted purchasing it? Hi, I'm Cameron with the Atlas Strength Shop, and today is part one of a series I am going to do on the worst gym investments I have personally ever made for the Atlas Strength Shop. And today we're going to talk about the Hi-Temp Husafell stone. Let's get to the video. So here we have the Hi-Temp Husafell stone. We bought this because one of our athletes was going to, I think it was Strongman Core Nationals. It was the year before the pandemic. They were using this in a max distance Husafell stone carry, and I wanted her to have the same exact equipment that she was going to use in competition so that she would have a leg up. As it turned out, she did do very well in that event, one of the best on the field. But right now, this still weighs the same as it did the day that we loaded. And we're gonna talk about why. So first, we're gonna talk about the pros of this. This thing's built like a tank. It's plastic, but the plastic is like that thick on it, and it is very strong, very durable. It holds up to drops. Well, we dropped this on concrete, we dropped it from chest height. Like this, it's taken a beating. But the problem is, for most gyms, it is a completely impractical piece of equipment to purchase. And now we're gonna talk about why. As you can probably tell from it, I don't know if you can tell from this distance, but this thing is covered in dust because it absolutely never gets used. And that is because it is so hard to actually adjust the weight on this. So the way this is constructed is it's about 10 inches thick of this thick plastic. And it has 3 different compartments that come up to about 3/4 of the way high. In order to load this, what you have to do is you have to unscrew this nut. It's about 5 inches long wide. Take that nut off. It's got this little plastic cap with a bevel. And now you're looking at roughly 3.5-inch hole that you can actually load weight into this. We had to get it to a certain weight, so what we wound up doing was we had a ton of like nails, we had some bolts, I had one chain in here from helping to, so the bolts and the washers and all that was from helping a buddy of mine disassemble this huge apparatus they were using for Ninja Warrior stuff. Everything else was just stuff that I found because we found we couldn't get it heavy enough with sand to get it where we wanted it, so we had to fill it with metal instead. Now the problem is, I can't effectively fit my hand in this thing to get that chain out. And if you try to dump it out to get the rest of the stuff out, it all just kind of bangs up and none of it will come out. So as a result, this weighs the same as it did the day we loaded it. If you wanted to purchase these for your gym, if you're a commercial gym and you want to have a whole bunch of top-of-the-line Husafell stones, then what you would have to do is you would have to buy 5 or 6 of these, fill them up with sand or concrete to an even 100, like have a 100, a 200, a 300. And then what you would want to do, and I know somebody that's done this, is they screwed an eye bolt into this cap and they had a bunch of 10-pound chain links. They've just hooked those on and tried to feed them into here and then put the cap on, and that's how they got it close enough to what they were trying to do. But for most gyms, this is completely impractical and it's never been touched. And as a result, it is one of my most regretful purchases for the Atlas Strength Shop. So now I'm going to show you a better alternative. As far as products that are available commercially, I really don't think you're going to beat the Titan Husafell. It's 110 pounds empty. It has a big wide mouth for you to shove plates in. And we've gotten this thing well over 300 pounds, dropped it onto concrete, dropped it onto, well, you can't really get much more damaging than concrete, but we've dropped it on a lot of things from a lot of different heights, in a lot of different ways, and there is not a crack in the welds on this thing. My one complaint is that it's a little narrow, it's only about 6 inches wide, and the finish on it is slick. We actually took some sandpaper and we gritted it up just so we could grip it a little bit better. But this thing is held up. And in the events that we've had Husafell carries, we have been able to use this to train pretty much anybody. So if you're just gonna go online and purchase a Husafell stone, I recommend the Titan Fitness one for, I think when I bought it, it was like 110 bucks. I know it's more now because the price of steel has gone up, versus this Hi-Temp one back here. That Hi-Temp one never gets touched. This gets touched all the time, at least once a week. Now, ideally, you'll want to go to a fabricator, somebody like Texas Strength Concepts, and have a wider one made, but that's probably going to run you $500–600. If all you want to do is spend a couple $100 and get something that's good enough, this one works great. Makes a good gong too. So that's it for the video. If you found value in this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We post 3 videos a week. Love to see you on each and every one of them. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to actually screenshot this right now, tag us on your Instagram stories or your TikTok. If you do that, I'm going to send you a promo code that's 10% off any of our apparel. I drew them all myself. I think they're pretty sweet. So to recap, Hi-Temp Husafell, huge waste of money. The Titan one, even though it's cheap and it's Titan, surprisingly good. I'm going to be putting videos like this out fairly often because we have a lot of stuff in here that while I thought it was a really good idea on the time, turns out nobody ever uses it. So I want to show y'all what I spent money on so that you don't have to. Last but not least, if you're in the Baton Rouge area, we'd love to meet you. So swing by. Best thing you do is hit me up on Instagram. Let me know when you're coming by so that we can make sure that I am here. If you're not in the Baton Rouge area and you still like to support us, you can go to the website and check out our apparel line or check out our programming. Till next time, see ya.